Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about conservative talking head Matt Walsh from the Daily Wire attacking anime again, saying it's for men who are morbidly obese. Before that, he said it was satanic, although he couldn't really quantify it. He said it just felt
So they're for fat Satanists?
Fat Satanists. I guess anime is just for fat Satanists, yeah.
And men, apparently.
So let's talk about this. Before you get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
Go out to clownfishminus.com. Help support the reef. That's greatly appreciated, guys. You can also support the reef here on YouTube and on locals as well. So yeah, there's a term. It's called snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. Mm-hmm. And that I've been seeing a lot of this in the conservative talking head geekosphere YouTube space lately, where we had some people that were maybe had formed an uneasy alliance to push back against the far left. Now they're just kind of eating each other because it turns out that maybe we're not as all ideologically aligned as we thought we were. Right? Is that a fair way of putting it? I think that's a fair way of putting it.
I'm just thinking he wants to eat the apparent fat anime geeks because there's more on them. Maybe
they got more meat on their bones, right? But this is another video. We did a video a couple of months ago, and I called it. Right, I'm gonna say it. I called it. Glenn Beck was going on attacking gamers and attacking people who collected action figures and all those nerds and nerds. And I said, what is going to happen is if Trump gets reelected, there's no longer a common enemy, so these people are going to start eating each other. And
I think what's going on is they think that in their mind that people who collect action figures, people who play games are far left. And in their mind, people that watch anime are all far left. And so they're just trying to find a way to insult people because I'm going to get them. I'm going to get them. And it's like, but what you're doing is you're painting people with a broad brush and it's not really fair. And you look like an idiot.
Yeah, I thought for a while, I thought Matt Walsh was doing a bit. I thought Matt Walsh was basically pulling like a Stephen Colbert, like doing a bit of what he thought a far right personality would be like. But in the real world, he wasn't really that extreme. No. I think he actually believes this stuff. People are like, oh, he's just joking.
Wants attention.
Well, that's just it. And you know, we talked about this too, where we do have a lot of people that glom on to pop culture, both left and right. I mean, for the last 10 years, there's been a lot of people on the left, but I'm starting to see some people on the right that are doing it too. And they never really cared about this stuff. They want to talk about it, and they want to talk about how woke Star Wars is or whatever, but they don't actually watch Star Wars. They don't actually care. They don't give a crap about anime. They don't give a crap about video games. These are the same people that in the 90s would have lined up and told you that you were satanic for watching this stuff or playing games or whatever.
They would get triggered and offended if people said similar things about things they liked.
Right. Like, smoking cigars and playing the banjo. Apparently that's what real men do.
Is a complete idiot, right? That, which is dumb. I don't mean that because my dad had banjos. I'm just saying, it's painting people with a broad brush does not fix anything. And I think this is either a attempt to smear people I think are on the far right or left, or it's an attempt to get attention. One or the other. Or it could be both.
Yeah, well, he's getting attention. He's getting attention from gamers now for saying stupid stuff. It's come from Niche Gamer. Right-wing pundit and Daily Wire host Matt Walsh, who I've never watched his show. I've watched clips. I've seen clips of him, and he just strikes me as just being every, fuddy-duddy from my church that you've ever met. This guy just strikes me as just being, he knows more than you do. He knows more. He thinks he knows more than you do. He has a swarm brow. He's got the swarm brow thing going. Right-wing pundit, Daily Wire host Matt Walsh has been attracting controversy by once again making mock inflammatory. I don't think it's mock inflammatory. Making mock inflammatory statements against anime fans and gamers. This week on the anniversary of his infamous statement that anime is satanic,
Yes.
Walsh took some time to reflect on this moment and chose to double down, saying, yes, anime is probably satanic, or at least Satan influenced. However, he says he no longer believes men who watch anime to be a genuine threat to society, but only because they're all morbidly obese and even more fresh.
Not joking? Because this sounds like someone making jokes.
I don't think they're joking. I'm going to be honest.
I
don't
hope
think
he's joking.
I thought he was, but I have seen some other things, lately that I'm like, no, I think he's joking, but there is a level of seriousness. This is what they actually think. They basically think you're a bunch of nerds. You were useful. This is my opinion on it, right? And I talked about this before with the Glenn Beck thing. Nerds were useful. Gamers were useful. Weebs were useful. But now that Trump's back, we don't really need you anymore. And we're going to tell you what we actually think of you. That's my personal opinion. And I think we've been seeing more and more of this. I mean, especially if you're following the drama on Twitter, where, a lot of people are turning on each other, and it seems to be splitting along like religious lines or ideological lines. And people who thought anime and video games were satanic before, the anti-SJW movement are still going to think that video games and anime are satanic. I mean, I went to a church when I was a teenager that thought The Simpsons was the epitome of the devil's work. And if you watched The Simpsons, you were going to hell. I'm not even kidding. The Simpsons.
I believe you.
I mean, The Simpsons is a special kind of hell, but not until after season 12. We had about 12 good seasons before. Anyway, so he just keeps on. Walsh's editor team compared men who watch anime. So this is his team. His editing team compared men who watch anime to an inflated Aunt March from Harry Potter, a nasty woman who is inflated with so much air she becomes a balloon and floats out of the house. And other segments on his show and shows following the initial statements against anime fans, Walsh doubled down on his related pop culture takes and separately took to task conservative fans of his who spend all day watching anime and being attracted to underage anime girls. That's a whole nother discussion. Reiterating past statements that anime is degenerate and inappropriate for grown-ass men to be enjoying, Walsh made it clear he wasn't apologizing or retracting any of his previous statements against this segment of pop culture. Well, some of Walsh's fans agree, calling anime woke. Others have called him out for needlessly alienating segments of his base. Yeah, he went after Sonic 3. Because after watching Sonic 3 in the past few months, Walsh has also been warring with fans of the film, calling it one of the worst children's films ever made, and saying it was inappropriate for children and adults. It's a terrible movie. Like, what the hell?
I don't understand. It seems to me like, I think he's just like, what are people talking about? I'm going to go, throw kerosene on it to get attention. Because I think it's really dangerous to paint everyone with a broad brush. Are the people that are overweight that watch anime? Yes. Is that everyone? Hell no.
So here's what I think is going on, what I kind of predicted was going to happen. Once the common enemy is defeated, people that have made livings out of going to war, basically, they need to have the battle. They need to have the engagement. And if the common enemy has been defeated, then it becomes a Mexican standoff and they turn against each other. Right. So I think what it is like, oh, we got to keep now we got to move the goalposts. Now the people that, they fought with us, but they're below us. They're below us. Right. Which is very dangerous because that's what happened with the left. Right. They started eating each other and nothing was pure enough. Nobody was good enough. Nobody was anti-racist enough. Nobody was accepting of LGBTQ enough. Like you were all racist, and it was pretty much just, I guess, like social justice Darwinism, whoever's left standing at the end after they've pushed out their competitors, for finding some grievance against them. The same thing is going to happen here. And it's not a good situation, right? I mean, I just, to me, I look at this guy and I look at the Daily Wire too, as every obnoxious talking head from the 90s that was all like, this is satanic, that's satanic, games are bad, Mortal Kombat's bad. And they were on the left and the right, because Tipper Gore actually was pushing for video games to get banned, and Doom's bad and all that. And I remember that. And I remember the 80s, some people trying to say that the satanic panic was not real. It absolutely positively was. It was.
They have video footage proving it real.
Yeah, it was 100% real.
I see people mentioning in here, Gene was one of the ones mentioning too, like, there are plenty of men who watch sports, TV shows, and news, and the Daily Wire, that, probably like, that are probably also fat. And what the heck,
there are lots of fat sports fans, right? Let's be honest.
Now this guy, because he wasn't getting attention otherwise, he's going to say that anybody who watches this stuff is fat. I'm like, what are you, 12?
I don't know. What is she, 12? No, like anime girls.
No, I mean him. What is he, 12?
No, I don't know. It's just really weird. I mean, it's basically he's turning into, whether it's slightly in jest or not, like, you realize that a lot of these people for a while kind of had your back and you're kind of turning on them. And
I think it's lowbrow, a sign of low intelligence too. If the first thing you have to do if someone disagrees with you is, you're like, well, because you're fat, you're ugly. And I'm like, that immediately when I hear that, I'm just like, okay, so we got a brain trust here. And that's what I'm thinking about here. And I'm like, yes, there are some people that are overweight, but a lot of people aren't. Come on. That's how it is with any hobby or, spectator sport or whatever.
Right. Matt, you get paid to watch Bluey. That's funny. He's trolling you, Phil. I don't think he is. I thought he was. I thought the first time he was.
I thought he was.
No, it's this guy really, honest to God, because I've seen him engage with people. I think he is literally this ridiculous.
See, I think this. He's just engagement farming. That's what I think. I think he's just trying to get attention. Is what I think is going on. I don't know if he actually believes it so much as he's just really desperately trying to get attention. That was my first takeaway. Because no one who is rational adult is going to say, if you watch, anime, you must be a fat weeb. If you like this or gaming, you must be an idiot. Most people aren't going to say that.
Stinky furries.
I'm just, it doesn't make any sense. Like a rational person isn't gonna, paint everybody as being. I mean, that's why it's so funny when we see the far left doing it, because a lot of times they're not being rational. And if you don't like being painted with a broad brush when they do it, why is it okay when this person does it? It's just it's stupid.
I think we're gonna see more of this. Like I said, it's like if you've, especially if we see a lot of the legacy media outlets shut down. And get, what I'm saying? And then it's going to be, well, if our audience wants a fight, then we got to give them a fight. So we're gonna, it's like professional wrestling, right? Then somebody's got to be the heel. So you do the heel turn to like engagement farm. But apparently there's all kinds of problems over there. I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't watch the Daily Wire. I don't give a shit about the Daily Wire. I've never given a shit about any of these right-wing talking heads. We've been very honest about that since the beginning. Like, people are like, did you watch so-and-so? I'm like, I don't give a crap.
We don't really get into a lot of the super political crap anyway. Like, we never have. We're exactly as we've always been. We haven't changed. We call out stuff that's egregious on both sides. And it's like, we never got into this whole, just because they go hard in the paint this way, or they go hard. We just avoid all of those because it's like, we just want to be happy and
we just want things to go back to the way they were.
Like, to be normal. That's all we want, man.
15 years ago. Roll back to 15. Roll it back 15 years. I don't want to go back to 1952, but I would sell for 2002. I'd sell for 2012. Just things have gotten so crazy.
I've been to many anime cons over the years, and a lot of cosplayers, a lot of voice actors, a lot of fans. And, yes, you have some that are overweight. Not that it mattered, but a lot of them aren't. You see the cosplayers, and a lot of them aren't. And and to me, it's a shame that people who are overweight are afraid to cosplay because they're afraid they get made fun of. And it's usually people like that person. Apparently,
I mean, they're like
that person.
They're like, oh, he's clearly joking. I'm like, I don't think he's joking. I truly do not think.
I hope he is. But I think it's for attention, personally.
It's a bit. He knows it irritates people when he says this. Nobody's talking about him because, like I said, we've defeated quote unquote weave, the group, the alliance of the anti-far left people or whatever have defeated the common enemies. Now it's like, oh shit, nobody's gonna watch us because we can't bitch about how they're bitching about. You can bitch about how they're bitching about Trump, but there's not. When everybody's an anti-SJW, when everything is anti-woke, nobody is.
I just think that he's just trying to get attention. And, that's what people are saying is engagement farming, because I can't think any rational person would make blanket statements like that. And I say rational because I've seen it out of extremes, but it's usually more extreme on the left. And we call that out. But if he means it, I'm calling it out too, because it's still not right when you do it. No pun intended.
Well, okay, so it's not just him. We've got Glenn Beck, And I brought this up before, but he unironically said, yeah, he wouldn't let his daughter date a man who collects figurines, calling gaming and figurine collecting weakening to what it means to be a man.
Okay, but I guarantee you he probably collects something or likes something. I mean, besides grudges. I mean, it's like, I buy you a lot of your stuff.
That is true. Actually, if it were up to me, I would not have nearly as much stuff. And part of the reason that we got together was because we were both in this nerd stuff. That was the big reason why we got together. Plus, she was very hot, and we hit it off.
Yes. Once.
No, you are very hot.
Anyway, so.
You are very. But I'm just saying.
I wasn't calling you out. I was saying once upon a time.
We had common interests, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I mean, I'm not the manliest man, but I do okay sometimes.
I have no complaints.
You're a bigger man than I am sometimes about things, but she's handier around the house, I think.
That's true. But anyway, we're gonna wrap this up because now you're just
making it weird.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just telling you guys, you're gonna see a lot more of this. I said before we were gonna see it. People. Kidding. I don't think he's kidding. I really, truly don't think he's kidding. I think I think this is him saying what he feels, which is,
well, one of us.
Yeah,
right.
I put up with. Yes, there you go. That's how we win. Hashtag Clownfish was right. It's a 50-50 chance. We both say opposite things, so we can still say Clownfish was right. I don't think he's joking. I thought he was too. I didn't see the
clip, but just by the way his brows up and stuff, and like it seems comical. But I don't know.
Everything he says with smart brow. I mean, from what I know of this guy, he does have a deadpan sense of humor, but I made the mistake of thinking he was joking last time. I do not think he's joking. I think he thinks he put up with a bunch of smelly ass nerds to get what he wanted, and now that Trump's in office,
know your place,
now they got another place. Know your place,
nerd.
Get back in the locker, bitch. That's
the ones he's talking about won't fit.
Yeah, you don't fit in the locker. All right, we're gonna wrap this up.
Yeah.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.